All right, let's let the system propagate a little bit over on Facebook and YouTube before we start the episode. It is Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you know what time that is. Do you know what is happening every week? It is the weekly show. So let me make sure everything is propagating first before I do my introductions. I already started up over on Instagram. So hello to Instagrammers. I'm going to go ahead and wave. As you can see, I don't have any lighting implements. I'm not too fancy with my background. I'm relocated to the kitchen for tonight's episode because I've been using the kitchen and a stack of cookbooks as my working desk to stack my laptop on top of to make it kind of a standing desk. So let me make sure that we're working over on the YouTubes. All right, I know that the Facebook is working because I got the alerts. But let me double check the YouTubes. Let me know if my audio is working too. I always want to make sure that the technology is working. Hello, Kristen Jones, 1616. Welcome to the broadcast. Let me see over here. That is open, so I'll close that up. Looking all good. Use whatever you have. It's all about the message. Exactly, Kristen. Exactly. So checking my YouTube stuff, making sure that that's coming up. See, that was from 2 weeks ago. Don't want to switch over my account. Where is my channel here? All right, Kristen can hear me over on Instagram. And it looks like everything is working for YouTube. Yes. So I'm going to close that out. Cool. Okay. I think everything is working. And we've got Teresa, the tarot lady, joining us over on Instagram for the Scrying workshop. So hello, everybody. It's time for introductions. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. I firmly believe that everybody has intuition, and we just need to sometimes work a little bit harder or work a little less hard, get out of our own way to hear those messages from our intuition. And sometimes instead of listening directly to our intuition, a divination system like the tarot, like runes, like the I Ching, like numerology or omens or signs or oracle cards, those are all tools to access and understand your own intuition. So what I think of when I think of my job as a tarot reader is just my intuition talking to your intuition, and the common language or alphabet is the tarot cards in between us, or over Skype, or over phone. So Teresa, the tarot lady, says, not staying, just popping in to say hello. Well, hello, I'm glad to see you, even if it is briefly. So tonight's episode, we do this every week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Friday night, with a different metaphysical topic in mind, usually requested by long-term viewers or whatever I'm feeling moved to teach in that particular week. 1 week I was having to do a lot of boundary workshops for my coven. So we did a couple of boundary workshops. I ended up teaching boundaries at least 3 times that week. But it was good because the third time was for you guys. So I was really, really secure in the materials that I was teaching. So that was a workshop that we did. We've done them on, of course, tarot cards and different aspects of reading tarot cards. We've done them on oracle cards, the difference between tarot, oracle, and Lenormand. We've done them on, what did we do? We've done that on stage cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. That was a very interesting episode. So we've done a bunch of different topics, and I'm sure we will be doing more topics in the future. So tonight's episode, we are talking about the divination method of scrying and different types of scrying methods. According to my knowledge, we're not going to do a live example of scrying like we did last week when we were talking about pendulums, because scrying is such a different divination system method, and it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of introspection and time. It's almost a meditative practice in a way, in which you're softening your gaze and allowing images to appear, which is very... I don't know. I feel like the tarot and oracle cards are more accessible in a way, because they're kind of on the surface. There's the picture, like no softening of the gaze necessary to really get those images. The images are right there. They're very accessible. For scrying, you're waiting for the image to appear, or you're waiting for the omen to appear. So it's very meditative in a way, and it also takes a lot of patience. But we'll talk about that more when we're ready to teach that topic for tonight. As usual, I have Katie here, so let me say hello to Katie tuning in. Hold on one second here. Let me put my name back up. So the structure of these workshops, these Friday night workshops, is that I start off with the astrology up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We move into the topic that I'm teaching for the night, and then I finish you all off with the weekend forecast for the collective, which is either a tarot card or an oracle card, or whatever I'm being divinely guided to work with for that particular moment. So I do have, let's see, I've got my Mystic Mondays tarot deck next to me. I also have the Starseed Oracle cards next to me. So we'll see at the end of the episode which way I'm feeling before I go for the weekend forecast. So Brandy Rochelle, Psychic Mystic, has joined us over on Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. And I do have some of my scrying stuff to hand. However, I need to grab more. So I will do that after we do the astro-weather. Does that sound good to everybody? And I also have to grab some water too. Wondering if I should grab a beer. I don't know. Water or beer, folks? Let me know. Or cider. That cider is very dry though. So yesterday I got my second vaccination. So there you go. There's a little Rosie the Riveter type pose with my shot there. So Kristen says, sounds like a good time. Okay. I'm wondering if that's in reference to the topic at hand, or whether or not I should grab a beer. It's been a long week, folks. Feeling a little soreness. So you know what? I am going to grab a beer. I deserve it. And I'm cracking it with my bad arm. All right, cheers to everybody. Happy Friday, everybody. Okay, so let us go for the astro-weather first. And actually, let me see if I can find my my cute overlay that I think I created for this episode already. Did I? Or did I just not download it? I have a feeling I did create it, but I didn't download it. So give me a second here. Silly me, folks. What you have in store for the evening? Okay. I still grab that beer though, Kristen. So I do have some of my scrying stuff to hand already, but I do have to grab some more, like my my teacups for tea leaf reading. Even though I'm not a tea leaf reading expert, I know a little bit about it. My primary method of divination is, of course, the tarot cards, followed up with some oracle cards, followed up with some Lenormand, followed up with some Tessera charms. So sometimes I will use in a client session whatever I am guided to or whatever I think will work, up to and including the tarot deck, because I do have, I think I have 200 decks. Maybe not. Maybe I have only 100. Either way, when I work with a client, sometimes I will sit and actually, if you tuned in to last week's episode, where we talked about using a pendulum and setting up a pendulum, sometimes I will either be intuitively guided to use a tarot deck with a client, or I will let the pendulum decide which deck would be right for that client. And it usually works out pretty well. So, but I do have some tasseomancy, tea leaf reading materials that I'd love to show you guys as a part of the Scrying workshop. Even though I don't know if tea leaf readers or tea leaf reading experts would agree that tea leaf reading falls under Scrying. Me personally, I think it does, but they might disagree. So either way, I'm going to grab those and show you some of those. And these are like, one of them I bought for myself out of like a cute tea leaf reading kit, and the other one someone found it at a garage sale and literally like handed it to me. Like, this made me think of you and gave it to me. So like, if you're a witch or you're metaphysically adjacent, as it were, sometimes you will get your divination method handed to you, quite literally. And we do have some spammers, unfortunately, coming into the Facebook feed. So go ahead and block those people or report those people because I am not affiliated with them. So Brandy had to run. Bye, Brandy. You can watch the replay later on IGTV if you want to. Same goes for you guys, too, on Facebook and YouTube. All of these episodes are in a YouTube playlist or a Facebook Watch playlist or on IGTV. If you want all of them, I think I've posted absolutely every single one from the past year and a half that I've been doing these, all up onto a YouTube playlist called Friday Night Workshops or just Workshops. So you can find all of the different topics that we've covered in the past. So don't go there now. Otherwise, you're going to miss the live episode. But I've already covered some topics. I'm always happy to do part 2s or even part 3s because, no 2 workshop is going to be exactly the same, because this is the reason why I like to do these workshops live. You may not be here for the live broadcast, which is a shame because it is kind of fun to be here live with me and be able to ask any questions that you have as you think of them. And then I can answer them right away on the broadcast. And that's helping the people who are watching the replay too, if you ask those questions. But either way, whenever you're watching this, whether you're watching the replay 6 months from now, 6 years from now, I hope that these messages and these trainings help serve you or hit you in just the right way that you need. So on that note, let us find that overlay, Hilary, and stop waxing philosophical here. All right, I'm going to try this one. I made this 4 days ago, so hopefully I put everything down that I needed to on the sidebar, right? So Kristen says absolutely. Hopefully that's in regards to this stuff hitting you exactly when you need to. And sometimes with a divination, with metaphysics, with synchronicities, sometimes you have to hear a message either in the same way or from different people in the same way or multiple times in different ways in order for the message to really be internalized and hit you and for you to integrate that message. And if you hear something 3 times, it's usually like, first time, whisper of intuition. Second time, voice gets a little bit louder. Third time, it's practically screaming at you. You may want to pay attention. So, on that note, let us add the overlay. And hopefully this, where is it? Overlay. Thank you very much. Okay. Actually, quite proud of these overlays. You'll see in a second, guys, over watching on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry, Instagram. I did look into seeing if I could stream to 3 different platforms at the same time. And I don't think it's a matter of me having to upgrade my plan. I think it's a matter of they can only do simulcasting to 2 places at the same time. And I don't think Instagram is actually one of those places. I think I think Be Live has something in the works right now that they're doing mobile applications, but I think that's only for iOS right now. So I don't have an iOS. So sorry, bare bones it is for those Instagrammers. But again, like Kristen said before, as long as the message gets through, the message is what's more important. And I absolutely 1000% agree with that. So enough. Let us talk about the astrology, the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest. Now, this is a subscription service that she does. It's a yearly subscription, and it's only $99 for the entire year, and you are getting astrology updates every week for every day, every month out of the year. So it is just so helpful to, if you're having a weird day or you're just like, I wonder why that happened, or it seems like no one's available right now, or seems like everyone's really busy, or seems like everybody has an attitude. And then you look at the Astro Biz Digest and you're just like, oh, now I understand why. Because not only does it give the astrology, it also, like the astrology jargon, don't worry about like, oh, well, I don't know astrology. That's okay. Teresa knows it for you. And she will explain it in layman's terms so that she gives the astrology in the astrology jargon, and then she translates it into, okay, well, this may be appearing in your orbits because we're in a Mercury shadow period right now, or this might be happening you might be having, like, there's a power day for Sagittarius, but a weekday for Aries. There is a planetary reason why, and she will always give that reason both in astrology terms, but also, I wouldn't say dumbing it down, because I think we're all intelligent people here watching the broadcast, but I would say that she gives it in layman's terms so that it's easily understandable for us, and you don't have to have training in astrology in order to understand it and have it help you. So as for me, I know just enough astrology to be dangerous, but I am not an astrologer. And that's the reason why I do the Astro Biz Digest for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every single time we do these Friday night workshops, because I kind of want to give you a taste of what is in the Astro Biz Digest for you guys to see for yourself, see if you like it. And if you do, purchase it from Teresa. It is geared towards entrepreneurs. However, I find it very, very helpful in my own personal life. So when I start to talk about power meetings or business meetings or this or that, you can go ahead and translate in your mind how that would be affecting you personally. It doesn't have to be all career biz jargon all the time. You can definitely find value in the Astro Biz Digest, even though it is geared towards entrepreneurs. Okay. And I only do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I don't want to give away the farm. I respect Teresa's work. So if this is interesting to you, if you like what you are hearing, go ahead, get yourself a copy of the Astro Biz Digest. You will not regret it. I think I've been subscribing to it for at least, this may be I don't know if it's my 3rd or 4th year. I think it might be my 4th year. I don't know. Whenever it first came out, I signed up for it right away. And then I gifted a gift subscription to my best friend because I'm just like, hey, you need this. So on that note, let me pull up the AstroBiz Digest on my tablet here, and let's get started. I can find where my email is. Not notes. And by the way, you do have that for Facebook and YouTube. You have that in the comments section. If you want to go ahead and check that out. For those of you on Instagram, just follow @TheTarotLady for the handle on Instagram, and you can find all of her work there. Accept no substitutes. There's been a rash of imposters, scammers, spammers happening over on Instagram. Kind of on Facebook too, because they're both owned by the same, company. So be mindful if there is an account DMing you, soliciting you to give you a reading. Most professional tarot readers are not going to solicit for readings in other people's DMs. We've got enough work to do, really. Like, we have enough people contacting us without us having to go out there and find clients and poach clients into their DMs. Like, we're not going to slide into your DMs, folks. If you want a reading with us, this is the reason why we put our information out there very readily, and you can go ahead and check out our work. Like I said before, if you want to book a reading with me, it's www.tarotbyhilary.com. That is Hilary with one L. If you like what I'm putting down, and if you think that I'm the right reader for you, go ahead and book a reading with me. I would love to work with you and the cards. What I won't do, however, is slide into other people's lives and advertise my services there, because that is a dick move. Let's see. So I know that today, because I did read this over today, that today was not a great day astrologically. I will say that, because we are starting to get into the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So I gave that as like an off-the-cuff example, but we are starting to get into it, and Mercury will go retrograde at the end of this month. So we're definitely starting to feel those effects now. If you want more information about Mercury in retrograde, not Mercury in retrograde, Mercury retrograde. See, I told you, I'm not an astrologer, guys. You can go to my website, tarotbyhilary.com, and just put in the search bar Mercury retrograde, and I do have a couple of articles that you can peruse. So I don't think I posted the Mercury retrograde periods for this year. So I'll probably have to go back and do that and update that article so that it reflects the current year's astrological phenomena. So, okay, so weekly forecast from May 17th to the 23rd. That is what we are talking about here, folks. All right, are we ready for the astro-weather? Give me a hell yes or hell no in the comments. Let me know. I'm just looking at my crystal balls, folks, right now, off in the wings. I promise you, I'll show you them. And I will give you resources if you want more information about scrying, because scrying is not my primary method of divination. Tarot is. And trust me, I can't give a live example of scrying for someone over a live feed because it takes time. Like, I will try and explain as best as I can what that process looks like without actually doing that process, because it's like watching someone try and scry for you is like watching paint dry. Trust me, I've been in a room of people learning how to scry with a crystal ball, and it is very quiet. You can hear a pin drop, and if you just look up and watch people watching, it's like watching paint dry. It's really, really boring. So Katie says yes. Kristen says bring it. Okay. So some overview stuff. So this is in Teresa's words. I'll try and not editorialize. As eclipse season approaches, people start to get weird. This past week, she had to deal with some major online nonsense from an envious shit disturber who decided to take a swipe. I simply stated an obvious fact. You should get some education and experience under your belt before you start charging for tarot readings. By the way, I completely 100% agree with that. Like, would you ever allow a surgeon to operate on you when you find out, oh yeah, God told me that I could be a surgeon. Okay, without any training? Oh no, I don't need any training. Okay, I'm going to look for another surgeon. So that is a very life or death example here, but listen, there is a lot of damage that people can do. And by the way, this is me talking now. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of damage that untrained tarot readers can do. And professional tarot readers, we're usually having to fix it. It's just, and we don't want to. We really don't want to, but of course we will, because most tarot readers that I know have integrity and respect and are trained and put in the time and the effort. Like, I've been reading the tarot since professionally since 2005. And I've been working with the cards since I was 16 years old, and I just turned 40. So, like, yes, I have experience and I have training and I have taken continuing education and classes and everything. So, like, I do feel like I can charge the amount that I charge for my tarot readings. So anyway, I think that's a very common sense thing to say. So, but there is a little bit of, because it's an eclipse season, some shit disturbers are going to be out in force, and just make sure that your boundaries are intact and make sure that you've got your energetic stuff in place as well. We might do a future episode on that, on what I do, kind of energy work to protect yourself as well. Especially when doing this kind of work, if you do decide to do this kind of work. I see Angela Mary Magic is here over on Instagram, so now I'm trying not to lose my shit, because I am so honored that you would choose to join me over on my live workshop about scrying. And please, I would love if you put any comments in there about what you do for scrying. If you do scrying, we'd love to hear it. So right now we're on astrology from Teresa. So anyway, this is an eclipse season, or the cusp of eclipse season, or eclipse season approaching kind of energy, where there are shit disturbers out there. Keep your boundaries high, folks. And remember, like, you choose who is in your orbit. You choose. They don't choose for you. Okay? So, like, obviously my husband is, the first circle here. He's the one I sleep next to at night. He gets priority access to me, right? Not some random person who took 2 seconds on the internet to, drop into my DMs and judge me or whatever. Like, you don't know me. So obviously I'm not going to pay as much energy to that person as I would to my husband or my best friend or a coworker. So there are rings of access. Just remember your rings of access. Okay. No, really, Angela? So Angela says, just did a moon scry live stream last night for our incarcerated folks that have no access to the moon. That's wonderful. I would love you to say more about about moon scrying, because I don't even have that on my list. But that's also another method of scrying, is using maybe a black mirror or a bowl of water and letting the reflection of the moon come down, and you would be interpreting or viewing or scrying the patterns that would arise there. So that's another method of scrying. But we're not there yet. Let's finish with the astrology first. I would love to hear it, though, because I really didn't even think about that, because, tarot is my main squeeze. So, okay. So, yeah, if you're online, you may see some of these types of situations ratcheting up over the next few weeks. Not only do we have eclipses on the way, but also Mercury retrograde, like I was saying before. Oh, Angela says, who's messing with you? Let me at him. No, I was talking, since this is from Teresa's AstroBiz Digest, I'm quoting from her. So if you know the situation, you know the situation. So not only do we have the Mercury retrograde, so you should look at go to thetarotlady.com, and you can search her latest hit list, My Disco, My Rules. This gives a lot of great information if you're having trouble with your boundaries. I see a flood of hearts there, so Angela, you know what I'm talking about. That it has a lot of great information about boundaries, setting boundaries, energetically, personally, professionally. But like, it's an interesting line of work. And I don't you still need to have your business stuff intact, but there is such a thing as professional vulnerability, I would say, or professional compassion, or professional empathy. That is also at work when you are a tarot reader, or a psych, or a professional psychic, or a professional empath or medium. There is that additional layer to it. I would almost liken it to a doctor or surgeon's bedside manner. There is a little bit of that going on here, because when we're reading for people, there's a lot of trust and a lot of vulnerability there, and sometimes it can go both ways. So that's the reason why your boundaries and your containers really, really have to be, I'm not going to say rigid, I would say firm, because that is that container in which you do your best work. And if those boundaries are crossed, then you're not doing your best work. So keep that in mind. I didn't plan on talking about that, but it's all coming up now. So Angela says Teresa is amazing. So are you, Boo. Professional vulnerability, great term. Yeah, I feel like that was either a download or I've heard someone else say it, and I don't know who. So all credit goes to them or to the divine source for giving me that term. Anyway, so there's the hit list, My Disco, My Rules. Check that out. And also Alexander Franzen's Clearing Mental Space in Your Brain. And that's just alexandrafranzen.com. So I'll try and put those links in later on. So cosmos, astrology, right? Back to astrology. So Sun will be in Gemini starting on the 20th. So that was yesterday. It's an amazing transit for writing and communicating. Words are powered up and our mouths are too. Oh boy. Okay. You can get your point across, sell a bunch of stuff, or negotiate like a badass. Again, adjust the business jargon accordingly. This stuff is really good for your personal astrology as well. Just remember to pace yourself. Your brain could easily get fried if you're overthinking or spending too much time in front of the computer. Oops. That's me all the time. That's the reason why I have to take walks out in nature occasionally. And actually the reason why I'm standing up and using my kitchen counter as a standing desk rather than sitting on the couch or sitting in my chair. In fact, I've got my Skechers sneakers on too. I cannot lift my foot up that high even on a good day. So you'll just have to take my word for it. So basically no doom scrolling. Got it? No doom scrolling. Saturn retrograde on the 23rd. So it's the 21st today. So 23rd until October 10th allows time to reflect on your business foundation and your role in the community. These few months would be ideal for testing out new strategies, technology, and online communications. It's also a wonderful time to tighten up your online ship. If you haven't backed up your website in some time, get on it. So that is the two big stuff happening in the cosmos, with a warning that Mercury retrograde is happening at the end of the month. So we are starting to get into that shadow period. So let us move on to today, Friday. Mercury enters the storm period today. Soon it will be retrograde. See, I told you. Back up your computer and all your gear today. Also put new projects on hold and focus on finishing all the items on your to-do list. You'll be glad you did. The morning aspects are rough. putting a problematic vibe into the whole day. When you throw in the void moon at 3:56 p.m., Friday is best for taking the day off or taking care of details behind the business scenes. And all of these times are Eastern Standard Time, by the way. Sorry, my eyes skipped right down to Saturday and Sunday. The moon enters Libra at 9:35 p.m., shifting the focus to partnerships this evening and weekend. A moon-sun trine at 11:46 p.m. is fantastic for networking or fun events. If you're hosting a gig, all should run smoothly. If you decide to stay at home with Ben and Jerry instead, I won't judge. So Friday today is a power day for Virgo and a weekday for Pisces. All right, any questions about today before we move on to Saturday and Sunday? And then we're going to get into some scrying tools. And the comment section has been very quiet, so I want to make sure everyone is still able to hear and see me. So just pop in a yes and let me know, because I get nervous. All right, I think Katie just said yes. It is warm in here. I'm wondering if that is a side effect of the second vaccination. Or it's just hot today. All right, let's keep going. Saturday is terrific for strengthening partnerships and meetings of all sorts. A trine between the moon and Saturn at 8:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time would be dynamite for a power negotiation or community building exercise. But Mercury square Neptune at 10:43 p.m. brings the energy vamps to your table. Load up on the garlic and don't let them bite. Saturn stations retrograde on Sunday. Already read the info about that. Send out inspirational newsletters or hit up the media at 11:59 a.m. when the moon tangos with Mercury, and that is on Sunday, folks. This would also be a super period for smart online PR campaign. Shut everything down when the moon is void again at 5:36 p.m. Put your feet up, make some popcorn, tune into the latest episode of Pose. At 11 p.m., the moon will be in Scorpio. It's the most psychic of all the lunations. If your bullshit detector is going off tonight, pay attention. Follow up with that on Monday. And I think we are missing the power days for Saturday and Sunday from the scope. So let me try and look that up from the monthly overview for you guys. Come on. Told you, there's so much information. So much information, guys. Yeah, and she says that too. There's so much happening in May. Eclipse season, Jupiter and Pisces, Mercury retrograde. But yeah, let's see. We are on the 21st here. So 21st is a power day for Virgo. 22nd is a power day for Libra. And 23rd is another power day for Libra. So, on that note, folks, let me know if there was any particular days that you found difficult this week or you wanted to check the astrology on before we move on to different methods of scrying. I'm going to put that down while we wait. And I'm going to put up my cute little widget timer. I'm going to give that 2 minutes before we move into the workshop portion of tonight's episode so that I can grab my materials. Scrying workshop in. Yeah, let's go with 2 minutes. That should give everyone enough time. Okay. Katie, I do see you, and I will get to your question Sunday and Monday coming up. Oh, this past, so I already gave you Sunday, but I can tell you, well, I mean, I can't tell you because it drops on the Sunday. So I can't tell you. I can only give you the overview. So let me know if you want the overview for Monday, which is only going to say the power day and very likely what the aspect is. It doesn't drop until Sundays. So that's the reason why I give you that information. I don't have more information past that. So, all right, let me grab some of my teacups and I will wet your whistle with Crystal, my crystal ball. Her name is Star, by the way. And I will be right back. We've got another minute. I'm a bad tea leaf reader because there's dust all over these. And I haven't used these at all. I've had them on my windowsill. So they're dusty, and I can't get the saucer to come up from the windowsill for one of them. So sorry, you're not going to be able to see the saucer for one of them. Okay. So speak now or forever hold your peace. We're going to move into the scrying workshop after I answer Katie's question. Power day would be interesting. Hold on. Let me display. I'm interested in Sunday, Monday coming up. Last week is over, in my opinion. Power day would be interesting because I'm hoping for a promising job-related phone call. When? On the Monday? Yeah, because it's saying here, the last portion of it for Sunday is at 11 p.m. The moon will be in Scorpio. It's the most psychic of all the lunations. If your bullshit detector is going off tonight, pay attention, but follow up with it on Monday. So there's that. And let me go back to the monthly summary. So Monday is the 24th. 24th. So Monday, yeah, all it says is power day for Libra for the 23rd, Saturn retrograde, ponder your business foundation and community. And then the 24th is a power day for Scorpio. And the 25th is a power day for Scorpio. So yeah, pay attention to any intuitive hits that you get over Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday. And then 26, power day for Sagittarius, lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, truth emerges about a situation. You may have, right, exactly. I keep on forgetting that. I know where so very cute crystal ball. Yes, you'll meet her in a second. Yes, but Monday Australia, which means it is overlap of Sunday, Monday. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like Wednesday, Thursday will be interesting for you. Like, keep on ruminating and you can follow up and everything, but like, I feel like just like trust your intuition, trust your intuitive hits, but don't say anything yet. Don't put anything out there yet, even on Monday and Tuesday, because Scorpio is very good about intuition, but Scorpio is also very good at holding secrets and keeping secrets. Maybe now is not the right time to be able to give voice to that. It's just like kind of sitting back and observing and being like, okay, I see you. Like, observe the intuitive hits that you're getting, observe how, hoping for a promising job-related phone call, observe the interactions that you have or how that company approaches back or when they approach back. You know, I feel like that's, it's almost like a combination of intuition and practicality that's going on there. And I think I was just glitching a little bit over on Instagram, so I'm sorry about that. But also, when we talk about Scorpio and intuition, it kind of glitches out some of the technology. So, does that make sense, Katie? Just let me know. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. I hear what you're saying. Awesome. Great. Okay. Okay, so let us move into different methods of scrying. Now, this is another episode where it's a very cursory surface overview of different methods of scrying. Your mileage may vary. I'm going to have to put on my hair because I am just sweating everywhere right now. I'm definitely feeling heated. Give me 1 second here. Got to get this up off my neck. If you ever wanted to know how I get my bun so high, I just flip my hair over. I literally hang my head upside down and grab from there. Whew. Okay. All right. So we are talking about different methods of scrying. Very surface episode, and I would love for you to provide your own feedback on which method you might be trying out or experimenting with after watching this episode. So again, let me know. CC The Bodu, hello, wave to you. So let me start with the one that I know the most about, and then we'll get into cursory glances about some of the other stuff. Again, this is going to be... I always say it's going to be a quick episode, and then it ends up being like a marathon episode with tangents happening everywhere. So the method that I know the most about, though Angela Mary Magic did touch upon one that I had completely and utterly forgotten about, but using the moon or the reflection of the moon to scry for different patterns, either using like a black or silver bowl, usually black, like a black mirror or a black bowl with the water, and being able to look at the reflection of the moon and then sensing or intuiting patterns or viewing patterns there with the soft gaze. That's a method of scrying. So completely forgot about that, but thank you, Angela, for mentioning that. So that's a method of scrying. The method that I know the most about is something that, you know, it's instantly attractive to my magpie nature, which is crystal ball scrying. And these are really dusty because they've been on my altar and I have not been taking good energetic hygiene of my altar. So that is something that I will be doing this weekend. But this is my crystal ball that I got from Heatherly Navarre, who runs the Boston Tea Room. Don't be confused, which is located in Detroit. And it is a psychic shop that is also a tea room. And it's basically you're buying a pot of tea, but you're also buying a psychic reading, and you're using the pot of tea as a way to buy the psychic reading. It was kind of a way to get around the fortune telling laws that they had on the books, because, you know, it's still a little bit taboo what we do. So she has a shop out there, and it's also like great gifts, great thing, candles, incense, tea, tarot decks, crystal balls, and psychic readings as well. So if you're ever in that area, I believe it's the Ferndale area of Detroit in Michigan, check out the Boston Tea Room. But this is a class. This is a crystal ball that I got at a class that she was teaching at Reader's Studio, which is a tarot conference, at one of the evening classes. And so this is the crystal ball that I was working with. And you were under no obligation to purchase the crystal ball that you were working with if you just wanted to attend the class. However, I got attached. I caught feelings for my crystal ball. So her name is Star. And she has a lot of, I guess these are called occlusions. So I'm going to hold it up closer to here so you can see. So it's different facets. And I was under the impression, I'll show it to here. Of course, you're getting a lot of, I can turn off the I guess I can turn off the stars pattern so you can see the occlusions. All right, turning that back on again because I would rather do the little galaxy over on Instagram. But I was under the impression that you needed a clear crystal ball, like perfection, in order to read with the crystal ball, or that it was a good crystal ball. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, she's pretty cute. And so this is the size of the ball, and I have small hands, folks. So that is how small this is. So, you know, there is this, I guess, myth that you want a very clear crystal. And this is, I think it's a hematite stand, which is just a circular stand to sit her on. So I'll put her down. So this is the one that I've actually scryed with before. Now, prior to that, I thought you had to have a clear crystal and that it had to be big. Bigger the better, right? But I was told that actually most crystal balls were smaller in size because they do have their roots in Romany and travelers, and they would have to get up and move sometimes, and they would need to put their accoutrements in their pockets or in order to be able to run or flee or travel. So, you know, that whole concept of, you know, going to see a psychic or going to see a tarot reader, and there's a big ass crystal ball on the table. If the big ass crystal ball is completely and utterly clear, it's probably decorative and not so much used. Because you want the occlusions. You want the occlusions, and how the light reflects in the occlusions is going to be where the imagery starts to flow from. And again, I'm not going to be able to do a scrying workshop and actually scry live because that's just not how it works. It's very meditative in nature, so it would be like watching paint dry. Honestly. So if I were to use this with a client, I would probably use this for email readings in which time is not a factor. And then I can jot my notes or impressions into the email along with any cards that I pulled. Instead of having it be, you know, a client sitting there for a half an hour, just watching me. And then, you know, every 5 minutes me saying, I see this, or I see this, or, you know, oh, I see a star, I see a flower, or, you know, it does work very well if you are clairvoyant in nature, if you are very visually based, because then this gazing could start off like a clairvoyant moment and start to get like the imagery going, or the movie in your mind going. But really, when I first started working with it, it took me a half an hour to see something, you know, so it is very meditative and very slow in nature. So that's the reason why I'm not doing this live on camera, because you'll just see me standing here like this and gazing and softening my gaze and getting into like very much like a meditative or almost hypnotic altered state to start to be able to see things. So little ball, little ball and lots of occlusions. So I was misinformed. When I bought my first crystal ball, I bought my first crystal ball in Seattle at this crystal shop, which I don't even know if it exists there anymore because this is a long time ago. This is when I was with a past relationship, not my now husband, and we found this crystal shop, and it was off of Pike's Place Market, but like in the underneath, in the underground, near the gum wall, if people are familiar with Seattle and Pike's Place Market. And there was this little like store like off in the corner, you know, and you blink and you would miss it. And it was this beautiful, small crystal store where you had every crystal imaginable. And so I went a little bit nuts in there, not remembering that, you know, we had to get on a plane and pack all of this stuff. So I remember getting a very large rose quartz shaped in a heart. I don't know where that went. I think I might have given it to someone because it had memories associated with that person. Cleansing it, of course, before gifting it to that person. But this is the crystal ball that I got from Pike's Place Market. So I still have it. And it is very, very pristine. It's also very, very dusty. So I'm going to get a little bit of something here to buff that out. But this is the reason why I wanted you to learn from my mistake or for my buying into the mythos of the crystal ball. If you want something to be merely decorative, but absolutely, if that's what brings you joy, for certain, go ahead and get yourself a crystal ball with no occlusions at all. But you probably won't be able to work with it as well as you would need to or like to. And by the way, this is like a source of controversy in the crystal ball gazing community, apparently. But this is what I was told by Heatherly Navarre of the Boston Tea Room. So please take what works for you and leave the rest behind. So let me take the dust off of that. Give it a little bit of care. This ball has not been named. I didn't really form an attachment with it, but it is quite large compared to my other one, which I did form an attachment with. So I'll give you a size differential. Actually, let me clean off Star. Does that make sense to everybody, what I'm saying about scrying and what I'm saying about crystals? That, you know, it's kind of meditative in nature. And I'm going to say the same thing about other methods of scrying divination. Hello, DVD XLY. Hello, welcome to the broadcast. So let me slough off some of the dust from Star. So here is the large one. And here is the one that actually works for me, which is smaller. So check out my crystal bowls. Put that up to the camera a little bit more so you can see them. So this is the one that I have actually seen stuff in. And this is the one that I purchased after doing the crystal gazing workshop. So just let me know if that makes sense. And if you're just tuning in, you can definitely watch the replay after the live is done. And I just put the wrong thing on the wrong stand. So yeah, there we go. And this one, this larger one, has like a little plastic stand with a divot in there to keep on. But have I dropped this before? Abso-freaking-lutely. So be careful with crystal balls. Also, I do want to give you a little bit of a safety hazard warning here. Do not put your crystal balls near a window or source of light, and make sure you cover over your crystal balls if they are in a very well-lit area. And someone told me a story about this, like, oh, do you cover it over with a dark cloth because you're afraid of spirits getting out, or is it something spirit related? And the person said back, no, because it's a freaking fire hazard if you don't. So the light will refract through your crystal and cause a fire. So make sure that you are storing your crystal in a dark place when not in use, or even when in use. Be careful, okay? And if it is in a well-lit place near a window, make sure you cover it over, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? That's just science. It's not all mystical here in Tarot by Hilary World. We are also practical and science-based as well. Doesn't have to be one or the other, folks. There can be a healthy, practical marriage of the two. So that's crystal scrying. Now, I do have other stuff to dust. So this is also dusting as well as showing you some tools for scrying. So Yes, exactly. So Katie says, so when the gypsy wasn't scrying, they were starting their evening dinner fire pit with the crystal ball. Probably, yes. I would also refrain from using the G word because that is technically a slur in the Romany and travel culture. So I'm just saying it one time to read your comment, and after that, I will not be using that terminology. But yes, you can totally start a fire that way with a prism or a crystal ball. So. And that's also part of the reason why I don't dress up in the fortune teller garb anymore, because I am not Romany. I am not a traveler, so that would be insensitive for me to dress up that way. Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. Okay, thank you. Not a lot of people realize that that is actually technically a slur. So, always here to try and inform whenever possible, especially when I've done it. I've done it myself, and I'm trying to do better. Yes, exactly. Romany. Beck. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Hello, welcome to the broadcast. All right, so we talked a little bit about crystal balls, which is my primary method of scrying. There's also other methods of scrying, wax gazing, and also fire gazing. You can either do it, yes, I believe that is how you spell Romany, with a Y at the end. So you can gaze at a candle flame. You can gaze at how the wax falls when burning down a candle, especially if you're doing magical work and you're burning a candle for a magical purpose. You can see how that spell is going by seeing how the flame is moving or how the candle is burning down, and checking into that. If the candle splits right through, that might be an indication that the work is done, or it might be an indication that it might be a divisive action that needs to be taken. So there are different methodologies in order to do both flame gazing and wax gazing or candle gazing to determine what that might mean. Where is my, I don't know where I have a copy of it, but there's a really great book by, I believe, Jackie Smith of Coventry Candles, that is called, I think, Coventry Candles and Oils Magic, something like that. I'll try and look it up, but that was a really great resource, not just for dressing candles or coming up with different oils to anoint candles to burn for magic, but also determining how the spell was working by how the candle, when you're doing candle magic, how the candle was burning down. So that's another method of scrying. There is also another method of scrying that is related to dripping wax into a bowl of water and reading the patterns that come out from the wax as it hits the water and what patterns they make. Actually, there is a method of divination to find, like, I think it's around Halloween or Samhain, where you peel an apple and throw it over your left shoulder, throw the peelings over your left shoulder into a bucket of water, and then look down and gaze down and see the name of, or the initial of, the person that you're supposed to be with in the apple peel. So that to me is another form of scrying, really. Scrying to me is anything that involves a gazing or a reflection with a soft focus. That to me is scrying. Now, again, scryers out there, you are free to disagree with me. Again, this is just my personal opinion and what I found to be true in my own personal divination practices. Again, your mileage may vary. I always encourage everyone to do more research and experiment. So we've already covered crystal gazing. We've covered a little bit about moon gazing from Angela Mary Magic. There's candle magic, flame magic, gazing into the flames during a bonfire or a fireplace. If you're familiar with Game of Thrones, the red priestess or the red witch, Melisandre, she would gaze into the flames. That's scrying. That is scrying. All the rest of it, like human sacrifice or bloodletting, that we don't associate with that. But that is a method of scrying, is flame gazing. So tasseomancy or tea leaf reading, I don't know if tea leaf readers really consider this scrying, but I would consider it scrying. So you brew up a pot of tea, you use tea leaves. So no tea bags here. I don't think tea bags actually work for that. I think you need to use loose leaf, and your client would then drink the tea, or you would drink the tea. And then I believe the methodology is there's a little bit, you leave a little bit of tea at the bottom of the cup. You flip the cup over, you turn it, I believe 3 times. I'm not sure if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. And then you pick the cup back up and you gaze into it and you look at the different patterns that the tea leaves make. And some things closer to the rim might mean that the event is closer to you. At the bottom of the cup might be further away. Many different methods to reading tea leaves, but I believe that is also considered scrying. That's in my own opinion. So again, I've got a lot of dirty cups here. Got a dirty crystal balls and dirty cups here. So let me go ahead and run a paper towel over this. So, oh, that is going to take more than a paper towel. I'm ashamed. But anyway, this is one of the teacups, and you don't need a fancy teacup to be able to do this. I think just a regular teacup would work just as well with plain, so that you can see the images in the tea leaves even better. Because this, I think, is very cute in nature, but not necessarily conductive to a real tea leaf reading. But this is something that my friend got for me at a garage sale, and he just handed it to me. I'm like, so the rim of the, so the outside of the cup, it says, "Perchance this cup will show it thee, wouldst thy fortune like to see." So that's on the outside. I'll show it over here on Instagram. I'll turn it. So that's the outside, and it has such an unusual shape. So, and then the inside, part in the dirt. On the inside, it looks like this. So it has some images on the inside, and then it has some stuff at the bottom. Again, forgive me for the dirt. It is a little bit dirty at the bottom because I don't really use it. So if you were using something like this, though, like this exact cup, and you would have the tea leaves in there, I would probably incorporate the symbols on the rim and at the bottom, and read it in conjunction with where the tea leaves are falling in relation to the symbols. You know, like maybe something, the tea leaf like looks like a dog near the snake or near the bird cage or whatever. That might symbolize loyalty, or it might symbolize something else. So again, don't know a lot about tea leaf reading, but I consider that a method of scrying. So that's this teacup. And then again, forgive me, it is dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Let me see if I can, hopefully I don't drop it everywhere. This dirt is not going to come off. I'm going to have to really clean these. So this is from Royal Kendall, made in 1985. Fine bone china, made in England. So yeah. Folks, if you don't have something like this, it's okay. This is just something that was given to me at a from a garage sale find. So that's the saucer that goes along with it. So sometimes you will read stuff that's in the saucer as well, because you put it down, right, into the saucer with a little bit of liquid left so that the tea leaves can move around. So you can swirl, and then, so you turn, right? And then you might gaze into the cup, but then you also might gaze into the saucer as well to see if there's any lingering leaves that are on the saucer. And then you would read it in much the same way. So Katie says, very cute cup. Thank you. So this is one that I don't use, folks. I do not use this one. This is more for sentimental reasons because someone gifted this to me. And I think it's pretty... To me, it's very valuable. I mean, I was 4 years old in 1985, so thank you. So if people want to learn more about tasseomancy or tea leaf reading, there's a couple of resources that I can recommend. There is a really cute kit, and this is actually something that I'm going to show you from the kit. It's called the Cup of Destiny. And I don't have the saucer because it won't come up off of the windowsill. But this is the cup that comes with that kit. It's called the Cup of Destiny. So you can just look it up. I think just look up Cup of Destiny tea leaf reading kit or something like that, and you'll be able to find it right away. So at the time that I got this is what the cup looked like. It might look a little bit different now because they might be into a different printing or a different set. But Cup of Destiny is the set that you want. For something similar to this. And it also comes with an instruction manual as well. So yeah, that's what I know about tea leaf reading. Again, tea leaf reading maybe a little bit more accessible in the patterns that come up because it is not arising from the reflection of the light in a crystal, for example. But I feel like it's kind of a combination almost of looking at the symbols on a tarot card and also scrying, so it's like, I feel like it's like a little bit more accessible than maybe scrying with a crystal ball is. So if you want to take that step from like tarot reading to crystal ball gazing, you might want to take a little transition step between the two and try out tea leaf reading. That might be helpful for you because it might be too big of a jump to go right from tarot cards to crystal ball gazing, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Sometimes we need an in-between step to get us where we want to go or to get us to the understanding that we want to have. So what else? Talked a little bit about the moon gazing. There are such things as black mirrors, not like the TV show, folks. But any reflective surface can really be turned into a scrying tool. So I think that's really it. I'm trying to think of any other methods of scrying that come to mind right now, and I can't think of any. So if anyone wants to contribute or has any other methods of scrying that they can think of to the top of mind, yes. Thank you, Katie. Yes, so coffee is also used like tea leaf reading too. Yes, that's an excellent point. Actually, I know of a couple of people that read coffee grounds instead of tea leaves because that is part of their divination practice. And also, I believe it's cultural. It's like a cultural thing too in some instances where like that's what they were brought up to do, like especially Turkish coffee, Greek coffee, some of like the thicker coffee or the iced coffee that results from like Turkish or Greek methods of brewing or doing the iced coffee result in really great coffee grounds. And then they would just like, oh, okay, like it's time to read. So like that is very much a part of sometimes different families' practices of divination, which I think is really, really cool. I'm from a British family, but we drink tea because we're British, not necessarily because we're going to be divining from it. But I did hear of stories, I think, from my I never met either of them, but I had great aunts. I think they both were named Lily, and they both apparently were intuitives or psychics. And I heard about this like way later, like way after I started doing professional tarot readings. So I just thought that was really cool, that I'm just like, oh, so it kind of runs in the family and I didn't know. Okay. Even though I do say at the top of every episode and at the end of every episode, I firmly believe that everyone has intuition. Sometimes different families have like a history or genealogy of, I don't know, being more open to it or being more intuitive, like there is a bit of natural talent involved sometimes, but I mean, that doesn't mean that there is an actual obstruction to accessing your intuition. I do believe that everyone has intuition, and with enough practice, like, you can get just as good as me. I mean, I happen to be a professional tarot reader, so I do this every single day, sometimes more than once a day. So, with practice comes expertise and knowledge, and for it to get easier and easier to access as well. So, but very good point, Katie. Coffee is also used like tea leaf reading too. All right. Anybody else? Any other contributions to the scrying conversation before we wrap up and do the weekend forecast? Yeah, I'm writing down, I'm looking at my list here from the description. See, I'm learning my lesson. I have the description right here. So, crystal ball, water scrying, tea leaf reading, flame gazing. Yes. And more, because we've got the, Angela contributed with the moon. And the reflection on the moon. Yeah. And I mean, it would be the same thing for like a black mirror, for example, if you happen to own a black mirror or you black out a mirror, but you have to have the reflective. You have to have the reflective surface. The black mirror, the reason why you would have a black mirror instead of a regular mirror is because the regular mirror is going to reflect back you. So it might be distracting to the whole concept of scrying, which is seeing other imagery arise from that. It's almost like it is this void or blank space in which the imagery arises from. And where does that imagery come from? It usually comes from our subconscious or from the collective unconscious. That's where the imagery usually rises up from. So sometimes it can be subconscious imagery, and there is a little bit of observation and objectivity that needs to be brought into it. And sometimes it is coming straight from the collective unconscious. But it takes time. Scrying definitely takes time, and it is an exercise in patience when you're doing it. So don't give up too soon. If you do attempt to scry using some of the methods that I just described in this episode, give it time, give it space, and then come back to it if it's not your cup of tea. Pun kind of intended there. But you won't know if it really works for you unless you give it, like, you could scry for 15 minutes and then get frustrated and walk away. And it could have been that 16th minute or 17th minute is that moment that you would have finally had some kind of reaction or some kind of glimpse or imagery come up. So again, this method of divination might not be for the impatient, or it may be a great way to start practicing your patience or upping your patience levels. So keep that in mind if you are approaching some of these methods of scrying that I described in this episode. And I would love to hear, you can put it in the comments here wherever you're watching the episode, and let me know how it turned out, because I would love to hear it. All right, are we good, everybody? Now I'm realizing that I didn't ever post my card of the day for today. I've been meaning to for hours. By the way, it's the Two of Swords reversed from the Mystic Mondays tarot deck. So, knowing that we are not going to be using the Mystic Mondays tarot deck for the weekend forecast, we are going to be using the Starseed Oracle. So, Any further questions before we move on to the weekend forecast? Let me know. And I'm going to put up the timer. If I can find the timer. Forecast. And let's not do. Let's do about a minute. Welcome to the broadcast, Whitney. Or Whitney. All right, so Katie says, all good, thank you. All right. By the way, folks, I am on TikTok. So I was thinking about doing live readings over on TikTok when I hit 100 followers. I think I'm at 50 now. So if you want to go ahead and follow me over at TikTok, we'll probably do 1-card readings for each question once I hit 100 followers over on TikTok, because I've been itching to do a live over there. So TikTok, same handle as here, right below me, at Tarot by Hilary. That's same at for Instagram, folks, over there, at Tarot by Hilary. So follow me over on TikTok, and then I'll schedule a live reading session, do some live 1-card readings over on TikTok. Excited about that. Okay, let me find the scroller, and we are going to, ooh, nice. Okay, so again, if you're tuning in on the replay and you would like a reading from me, you can go to www.tarotbyhilary.com. That is Hilary with 1 L. I would be happy to give you phone readings, Skype reading, or email reading. Those are the options available right now until we are all fully vaccinated and start to return to normal. I'm not doing any in-person readings at this time, but I promise you, phone, Skype, email readings, they're just as good, if not better. That's been my experience over the last year. So, okay. I like the crawler here, but let's take down the website. Actually, where is this? Aha. So, I keep on forgetting to do this, but I can show appointment options here. So I have hour-long readings, I have 30-minute readings, and so some of those options are there. And the link to purchase and to book a session is tarotbyhilary.com/purchase-a-reading. Or you can just go to my website, and there's a little bar at the top where you can book a reading. So I would love to serve you through the magic and power of the tarot. All right, let me add that. Let's go into the weekend forecast, shall we? So I'm doing a 1-card pull from the Starseed Oracle from Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. This is a 53-card deck, and it is different than a tarot deck. So last weekend, for the weekend forecast, or last Friday, we got a very clear yes message. Just yes. And the guidebook said yes, 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 all over the 2 pages of the guidebook. So I don't know if that was from the Work Your Light or the Starseed Oracle. Can't remember. Maybe it was from Work Your Light. I think it was Work Your Light. So let us see what the weekend has in store for us, other than astrology, which was at the top of the episode. Okay, I think we're ready. All right, so we're getting a little woo here from the Starseed Oracle because we are getting the card, the Seven Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, and Expression. That is the card that we're getting. Hold it up over here. So y'all can see that. Actually, that works out very well with the galaxy theme that I've got going on, the filter that I've got going on over on Instagram. It looks almost exactly like this, except a little less dark. Okay, let us see what that means according to the companion book, and then I'll give my own interpretation. So the Seven Star Sisters. Okay. Holding it up. There are new creations that want to be born, beauty that's yearning to be woven, new consciousness that's longing to be breathed into life. If you draw this card, you're being called to surrender to these creations, to usher in a new era of consciousness, and to do your bit in weaving the web of life. This is the card of the artist and the midwife. You're being called to ponder questions. What wants to be birthed through you? What new creations are whispering in your ear? What beauty are you being called to make? Creativity and intuition come from the same sacred place. They occur when we find ourselves flowing with the rest of life. Earth is renowned as a planet of manifestation and creativity, and yet so many of us have forgotten how to create. Somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing ourselves as artists, as creatives, as poets. Yet to be human is to be creative. Creativity is part of your true nature. Perhaps you're being called to surrender to a creative project, such as a new business or book. Or perhaps you're being called to weave beauty into your home or in the way you cook. Regardless of the end result, you're being called to express yourself through your creativity, to surrender to the creative projects that both scare and excite you, to find a way to weave beauty back into your everyday life. For where there's creativity, spirit and soul are present. And the world needs those qualities more now than ever before. So the inquiry question is, what new creations are you being called to birth? So actually, it's very interesting that this comes up in the companion book. Yet to be human is to be creative. I say this a lot when I have tarot cards come up with clients that feel like they aren't creative people or that they're not artistic, especially when the Queen of Wands comes up in a reading, when the Empress comes up in a reading. Those are the two cards that I'm thinking of at the top of my head. But there are other cards that have come up that indicate creativity, but creativity does not have to be in your artistic expression. Creativity can be living or being flexible or finding new solutions in your life, or learning how to speak plainly to a person that you've been having difficulty with. Like, that's creativity too. So don't forget that. If you're human, you're creative. I'm giving you the permission slip to embrace the creative label for this weekend and also going forward in your life. You are creative, just like you are intuitive as well. So I hope that serves you with the weekend forecast. Again, we do these episodes every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting with the astrology, moving into a different topic, which is the crux of these workshops, and then ending off with the weekend forecast, just like that one that I just said. So if you're enjoying these episodes, please tune in next week. We have for the final, hold on, let me take down the overlay here, otherwise you're not going to be able to see this. For the final episode of May, for Friday, May 28th, we have EFT, which is the Emotional Freedom Technique, aka tapping, and the tarot. So I'm going to be teaching you how to tap, not tap dancing. Tapping. So you're going to see a lot of this, that episode. You're going to see a lot of this, that episode. You're going to see a lot of this, and this, and this. That is a round of tapping, accompanied by different things that we're going to be saying together. So I'll probably do a personalized EFT tapping session for you guys on that episode. I know it looks weird, but I have found it to work very well. So these are the techniques that were taught to me by Gala Darling, Nick Ortner of the Tapping Solution, Brad Yates over on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to that episode. I find it to be very interesting and helpful. So come back here Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that episode on EFT tapping and the tarot and how to integrate the tarot into a personalized EFT or tapping session. I also have a reading option available for email readings, in which I also give you a personalized tapping session based on the theme of the cards for the question that came up for your tarot reading. So it's a little bit of tarot, it's a little bit of EFT, and I found that my clients really, really like it. So if you are interested in that, I will probably be saying that again after that episode, just to remind people. So again, Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Katie says, thank you and have a good weekend. You as well. And thank you for that intuitive information, RE job stuff. I appreciate it a lot. Yes, I'm rooting for you, Katie. I have a feeling that things will be good, but maybe you might be dodging a bullet by, observing, keeping those observations to yourself. And I think something better might be coming along. I know you want it, but also I think it might be like a quick fix, and you might be getting into something that you didn't bargain for. So that's another little intuitive hit. And I hope everything works out for you. All right. Wrapping up, for those of you tuning in over on YouTube or watching replays on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and put up that card for other episodes that you might want to tune in, like the stage cards of the tarot, like the pendulums. That was the last episode, so you're going to be seeing that in previous. And the next one is probably going to be something interesting for you too. So again, let me finish off the episode right. Again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friend, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Everyone has intuition. I promise you, you do. Just get out of your own way, folks. And if you want to connect with your intuition, you can feel free to book a tarot reading with me, tarotbyhilary.com. I would love to serve you through the wonderful power of the tarot. Have a wonderful, wonderful